LMU doing LMU things for us. Fantastic, but it looks like we have not missed too much there. Sorry about that. Just doing its thing as it normally does beautifully. I'm going to get Lindsay Muddle back onto the screen share there for him so he can see what I'm looking at as well. As you boyos can see, Mohamed Colombo going around at this stage, absolutely on a jettison at this point in time, just really, really going for it. He's 1.89 seconds away from anyone in the threat department too. So very, very nice job from him. We'll have a look, as Lindsay Muddle said, in there for the energy remaining for these boyos. Looks like they got 55 or 56% there left in this one. And it's going to be interesting to see what these boyos can do here, Lindsay, for the rest of the race here in the hypercar class, because that is looking like they're going to have to pit.
Yeah, see, that's really interesting because I'm getting mixed ratings actually at the moment, Zach, because I'm seeing on one of the actual hypercar drivers on board that it's showing 65% for everybody remaining. So that is, yeah, that's really interesting to me how there's a little bit of potential inaccuracy there. But yeah, so mate, who knows? Is LMU wrong on the driver's side or is it wrong on our side? But yeah, the strategy is definitely going to come into this one. I don't think we will see a no stop just about. We should see drivers pitting with probably about 20 minutes or 10 minutes to go, depending on how long everyone decides to stretch it. But at the moment, one thing seems certain, it's that Colombo is the strongest driver out on the track. But Benefield is creeping back up in the background, so maybe soon enough we will see a battle for the lead. Benefield is the hunter. He's been chasing tail since lap 1. He lost the lead right off the jump, and now he's just been sitting behind trying to gain time. And then as he got close again, it all fell apart with the GT3 traffic, so he's probably got to learn from that one and try improve on that one for next time they get to the GT3 traffic. De Silva as well, lingering in the background. The most energy is a lot according to what we're seeing on our little feed, but it looks like this strategy is definitely going to be pretty interesting. The GT3 class, though, I just saw Lachlan Andrews. That gap looked pretty small. And also Reyes and Packham are only 1.1 apart as well up the front for the GT3 lead. So this is absolutely fantastic stuff here. Lachlan Andrews under a bit of pressure from the Ford Mustang behind him. And also you just have the Corvette in front of him. I believe that would be... Oh, wait, no. I'm so lost at the moment. So Lachlan Andrews... I'm just looking at the leaderboard. I'm trying to find my bearings here. So he had... No, it says he has Johnson in front of him. So maybe that Corvette is a lap down. GT3 marker. And it looks like he has... I don't know. I'm so lost here, Zach O'Reilly. But I'll just say what's in front of me. So, Lachlan Andrews. He has a Mustang behind him. A Corvette in front of him. Yes, Brooks is a lap down. There we go. Well, nearly a lap down. My answer is now in front of me. Okay. And then Johnson is in front of him for track position. No. And then... What? It says he's 15. Oh, wait, no, it's 21 to 15.
It is the...
Damn, the LMU leaderboard.
LMU leaderboard giving us the worst
Laminen's behind him, though.
Oh, he is behind him. So we've got... Liam Brooks is on your screen. We've got Andrews, Laminen, and Phil Rando just off in the distance there. All these GT3 cars are a lap down. That is what's confusing Lindsay Muddle on the timing tower. But he's
all over the place.
He's 10th overall in his class at the moment is Liam Brooks. And these guys are the closest on track at the moment. I'll tell you what, because those hypercar cars are coming through at the moment, Nigel is back on the arse end of Lachlan Andrews here for P11 and 12 respectively for the both of them. So this is interesting. We'll see what these boyos can do, because I reckon here at this stage it's going to be very, very spicy for this man right now, because he has got an absolute rip snort of a run. You can see him side by side on Lachlan Andrews. Mustang versus BMW. Germany versus America. And they're all having a good old-fashioned tussle, and it looks like he's got the slipstream or the side draft there, and the Mustang just absolutely powering through. The BMW's got no horsepower to answer to. Lachlan Andrews nearly took the nose off his own car trying to switch back there, but it is this man, Mr. Nigel Laminen, in 11th place. Got the job done. Beautifully done there over Lachlan Andrews. He can now charge up to the back of Liam Brooks. He's only 7/10 away up the road as well. And then between Liam and Adam Hardy in front of him for 9th place, he's only 2.2 seconds. So a little bit of a battle going on here for the GT3s. But we have missed a change for the lead at this stage. Benefield has got past Mohamed Colombo for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Mohamed Colombo probably coming to fruition when it came to some of those LM GT3 cars. But it is now advantage to Daniel. So the Porsche, not the Porsche, the It is the Porsche, actually, of Daniel Benefield. My instincts are correct. If Benefield is right there and taking the lead here in this one for the hypercar class. 5 or 6 tenths now is the gap between them two. Is it a little bit of energy remaining sort of percentage? No, because they're both on exactly the same thing. So we can't see what the difference is for the rest of the field there, but they're all around that 47 odd percentage range with over half race distance still left. So they're all going to have to come into a pit stop here, I reckon, for the hypercars to make another one, and that's going to be another battle there, Lindsay, that we are looking very much forward to. And so with this one here for LMGT3, it is very close here at the start of this, guys. Russell Reyes and Packham fighting over P1 and 2 here.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely cracking stuff here between Packham and Reyes. I think this is going to be a really close battle, especially with GT3s. You can really get the elbows out, muscle people off as far wide as you can push them without shoving them onto the ungrippy stuff of the grass and the gravel or whatever else is around you. AstroTurfed a lot, and that's really good racing to see. I mean, we see a lot of that in the V8 supercars. In AK, you see a lot of muscling, and you see that as well in GT3s here. In LMU, I think we've seen it quite a bit, so I'm excited to see how everything comes to fruition here for these drivers. A yellow flag, but no track map here in LMU broadcasting, so we can't see what it's caused by. But Colombo right up the back of Benefield here, but they've got traffic in the way at Aqua Minerale. Oh my god, that was very, very close. I think that's Johnston that is Colombo trying to negotiate past, as well as Ford Mustang of Atkinson as well, that they're just getting past as well into Variante Alta. I think that Colombo's pants might be slightly brown at the side of that Aston Martin, cutting across his nose, but he is well within his right to, as a GT3 car, he is allowed to just sit on his line. Colombo wasn't alongside, so he just kept about usual business. But heading through Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2, this is going to be absolutely cracking stuff here, because Colombo is right on the back of the Porsche that sits in front of him. It's 3.5 tenths between the two leaders, but even with the slipstream, it was Benefield pulling away for a moment there. But in the slipstream, Colombo is closing, but it looks like the slipstream doesn't do too much here at the IMOLA circuit. They're just struggling a little bit to overtake, I think we're finding, without a little bit of traffic. But Packham and Reyes are only 1.5 tenths separated in the GT3 class as well, so I wonder what's going on there. In the grand scheme of things, it's separated back out again to about 3 tenths. So the two battles for the lead in their respective classes are separated by basically the same gap, but Colombo and Benefield are separating out just a little bit again to about 6 tenths. So two absolutely cracking battles for the lead of the race in both classes at the moment. We need like the split view, Zach O'Reilly. I know we can't do it, but you know how they show two battles at once in the real thing. We need one of those here for the LMU series, because it's absolutely all kicking off at the moment here, and they have some hypercars to join in on their fun as well, and that is the two hypercar leaders as well getting involved with the GT3 leaders. This is absolutely what you want to see, as that's Colombo the long way round on Brooks as well. I believe that is, as now it looks like De Silva has also arrived in the hypercar party, but Benefield did see an opportunity to get away, and he took it 1.2 seconds to Mohamed Colombo, and now De Silva's the Porsche behind Colombo, only 6 tenths separating, as Reyes and Packham also head onto the straight for their respective class lead. So everything going on at the moment here in the LMU Monday night sprint, and I just absolutely do not know where to look, Zach O'Reilly.
If you don't like this broadcasting and you don't like this racing, you do not like split liveried, I'll tell you what, World Endurance Championship racing, because these boyos are going hammer and tong here. Daniel Benefield is absolutely singing. 1.2 seconds now away from any threat from Mohamed Colombo, who's probably got his mirrors full now of that Porsche in his rear vision, ready to rock and roll at any stage. So we'll see what these boyos are going to do and what the racing department delivers for them. And Benefield has done the quickest lap of the race with a 1:31.366. That is his time on your screen there. And De Silva's just set a purple first sector too, so interesting to see what's going to happen. But he is racy at the moment, is Benefield, and he's pulled another 10th out of Mohammed there as well. So a bit of clean air is all the difference that they need. But for De Silva, it's looking like it's not really affecting him here. 7 tenths of a second away at the moment, and ever closing so far for them. But still, tell you what, the battle here, as Lindsay said, don't know where to look. The P1 and 2 in the LMGT3 class is absolutely kicking off at this stage, and you can see more hypercars coming into the equation here at this stage. They're side by side here, it looks like it, but they're not. just far enough away at the moment is Russell over Packham. So Mustang, 2 Americans. The broad-headed Eagle is absolutely in charge of the GT3 races at this stage. Great stuff from the two Mustang and the Corvette there. Red versus blue, or gold versus blue if you're a Chevy guy. It's all kicking off here for these boys, and they're really, really looking very racy at this stage. You can see the onboard here of Ricky Packham. He's looking racy, but at the same time, you've got a Corvette in front of you that looks equally as such. So these boys have got to start to think about where they're going to be advantageous and where they're not going to be, and maybe get a little bit of a slipstream and try to get out of the way of those hypercars ever coming through. It's just inevitable. When they're going to come is something that you never know. And I'll tell you what, Liam Brooks here also having a good crack over Adam Hardy in front of him. He's only 2/10 away, and this is exciting. Is he going to go for a move up the inside? No, he's not going to. He's going to bide his time, and hopefully that Ferrari in front of him absolutely sends it into the bunda, but he doesn't for now. So it's now going to be a drag race here. Slipstream battles for the final place positions here for 10th versus 9th. Liam Brooks on the charge here. Adam Hardy in front of him in 9th. Is the slipstream going to be enough as they come down the front straight away? Close, but not close enough, I would say, for a GT3 car to get inside that rear wing and use that big pocket of air that's got no resistance, just blade out in front of him, well, that Ferrari. So we'll see if that's going to come to fruition in the next one. But they are the two closest guys on the circuit at the moment in terms of battling. Really, really good stuff to see. We've had Nick Hill DNF from this one in the GT3 class. Benny Collins is still going around a lap down. Great sportage by him in the Aston Martin right at the back for that. But we'll go back to the overall leaderboard here for the rest of the years to see what everyone is doing. 1.3 seconds out in front here for Colombo over Daniel Benefield, and it's only 6/10 between De Silva and Colombo now, and it's getting closer. Only 5/10 now, so a bit of pressure points coming for Colombo's way. There's a dust off there in the distance. I think that was from that GT3 car we just saw go through at that stage, but De Silva looking very, very racy here with just over halfway to go in this one. And it is race on here by these two. Tell you what, this is fantastic. Come the pit stops. Let's see what the energy is left on these cars. 30s, mid-30s for everyone. And we've got 31 minutes, so pit stop battles are going to be coming our way very, very shortly. And I'm hoping that someone can either undercut or overcut. And you can see the hypercars getting right in the way there. Colombo's very, very much been held up there by that Ferrari in front of him too. So now De Silva's got very, very close. 3/10 in fact, and now Colombo's already lost a position. He's got to lose this one too if De Silva can get past him. He was so squirrely on the exit there, but no, they're sort of dabbing each other under brakes. Who can make the best line through the turn 14, 15 chicane? They go absolutely racing to the high heavens here, the both of them. And a bit of a flash there from De Silva saying, I'm coming for you, Mohammed. Get your ass out of the way, mate. One mistake, and I will be all over you like a fly to a piece of the proverbial, and we will be ready to race here for P2. It is hot property, this podium at the moment in the hypercar class, and they've still got 30 minutes and 40-odd seconds left of racing, Lindsay Muddle.
Yeah, they just aren't giving it up here, and even though it looks like we're going to have... No, not even... We're going... It looks... English, sorry. Had a moment, Zachary. Even though it looks like there will be a pit stop, and I was going to say it doesn't even look like it, there will be a pit stop in this race. There we go. The words come out eventually. It just depends on when. They're still battling like it's for absolute end of the race positions here with half the race to go. So we've absolutely cleared halfway of this race, and it just has gone in an absolute instant, technical issues aside. And yeah, this has just been absolutely cracking stuff, and De Silva really pressuring the back of Colombo at the moment. But we know that Mohamed Colombo is no slouch. He won't just give it up very easily. There it is, the 30-minute remaining marker on the top left-hand side of your screen, and De Silva is still hounding the back. A GT3 car in front of them at Aqua Minerale. This is the opposite of what Colombo needs. This just brings De Silva even closer as they head up through the exit. Colombo and the GT3 car nearly make contact. It's a repeat of last lap all over again. De Silva's trying it a long way around, a very easy answer, but it's never going to work. But he opens up the exit more, but Colombo gets a slingshot off the corner, and that Ferrari, I'd love to know how he's gotten that good of an exit, but he's going to hold up De Silva for the moment. Good defense from car 51 at the moment, but De Silva in car 5 has been absolutely hounding for about 2 laps now. A couple more GT3 cars just up the road, and there it is, Colombo, the first one to blink here in the hypercar class, as well as Di Medici in the Toyota and P10 as well. So 2 cars in the pit lane in the hypercar class, and that's really interesting to me as they still have a bit of virtual energy to go. Maybe just trying the undercut, get out of all of the stress and the drama of the traffic and go again. I think that would be my best bet as to why he has pulled into the pits when he did. But De Silva now left to his own devices to try and push on, but he has caught the traffic. And that is Hardy in the Ferrari. I'm not sure which Corvette. There's so many Corvettes at this point. I'm so lost. But De Silva's just absolutely clearing the GT3 traffic at the moment. Colombo just falling down in the pit stops at the moment. But now this is where the final run of this race begins. Once all the pit stops flow in, all the drivers get refueled, get ready to go. And then they're just going to be absolutely committed as Benefield as well. Absolutely storming out the front. And he is going to be happy with his performance so far in this race. And he has a little bit of a safety net to understate it.
Yeah, definitely. He's got 5.5 seconds there to De Silva on your screen there. But the big question is, where is Mohamed Colombo going to come out in all of this? Has he gone the undercut and trying to make that very, very strong for this race? We'll see what happens. Who's going to blink out of these next two? And De Silva and Benefield. Benefield looks like he is going to go around one more time now. So he doesn't really care about what Colombo's done. He's just going to keep pushing. And he's pushed very well because he's about to set a personal best here for his second lap. No, he's just down by 2/10, but it was dead on his quickest lap time. So full push at the moment here for Daniel. He is really, really singing to the high heavens in this Porsche. And I'll tell you what, he's driving very, very nicely indeed. 1:31.336 is his quickest lap time. Colombo's done the quickest one of a 1:31.218 at this moment. So at this stage, it's race on for these boyos. Mohamed Colombo is out, and he's back out, and he's got some clean air in front of him. As you can see there is no one in front of him. So the best case scenario is right now for Mohamed to start pushing his Ferrari to the nth degree, get the slip angles nailed, get those braking points nailed as well with the the braking markers and the apexes all ready to rock and roll, because you need to get yourself further up the grid as quickly as possible. With Benefield still circulating around. He's 5.5 seconds away from De Silva, who was on the back of Colombo there too. So that is indicative. They're racing at the same pace here, and no one can really catch each other. So barring a mare inside the pit window, I reckon Colombo is going to be back where he was behind Benefield, but with De Silva right on his collar by the time these pit stops come through. So it's going to be very, very saucy indeed. The lead here is in the LMGT3 class is still within that half a second mark at this stage between Packham and Reyes. So Reyes is driving very nicely in the Corvette. So is Packham in the Mustang too. They've got to give these boys some credit, because they're driving absolutely sensationally, nearly just giving each other a tenth of a lap here or there and giving it back to each other, taking one off and then taking it back off them again, sort of like a bit of taking candy from a baby style, but then giving it back. And they're racing very, very nicely indeed. So we'll see what these boyos can do. It's just that always that little bit of a procession where we think, well, something's going to happen here, and we've got something happening at the stage with Colombo down in ninth, but he's got Benefield and De Silva still yet to pit, and they're circulating around with a little bit of energy remaining on these cars. If I can get that bracket up, you can see Benefield and De Silva are there with 23% left. Colombo's got 49%, so he's 100% got a lot left for this one, so he can use maximum attack settings here at the stage. And these boys are not getting rid of each other. It's decreased the gap. It's halved, in fact. It's 0.3 of a second now for Packham over Russell Reyes. So this is interesting, but you can see Russell just got a beautiful exit out of turns 14-15 there, and he's going to sail down the hill here, safe from any attack there from Ricky Packham, barring a nightmare. Oh, that is a very, very, very hairy place to go off the circuit. Probably at the right point there. I reckon that was Glastonbury. Yes, it was. So Glastonbury just pirouetted himself off into the bund. That car is dirtier than a $2 you-know-what, and it's got more hits than Elvis at this stage. Not the best result for him. He's just going across the gravel there into the pit lane, counting his sorrows. Or is he going to go into the pit lane? Yes, he is, just at that point of not for him. But you can see Benefield still going around Lindsay Muddle, and Nick De Silva is doing the same. So a little bit of a long game played here for De Silva versus Benefield. Where's Colombo going to come out?
Yeah, I think that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Zach O'Reilly, they just can't seem to sort themselves out, but we've still got a lot of pit stops to find out where they are. going to end up in the grand scheme of things, but definitely it's leaving me on the edge of my seat just a little bit, just looking at this strategy. This is just not really something you see in a lot of other league racing competitions. You don't see this big variance in strategy. Normally there's one or two ways to go about it, but here it looks like there's a good several ways to go about it in Colombo, proving that right now as well. Brimblecombe yet to come into the pits. I know he's down in P8, but I just thought I'd let the ladies and gentlemen know he has been carrying a bit of damage all race. So don't be discouraged, Brimblecombe. He was a weapon in qualifying and just struggling a little bit with damage from the opening lap. Unfortunately, that is why he is down there. That was a little bit of information I picked up. But yeah, looking at the virtual energy, I know that we've got it up on our broadcast, but the actual driver's display is showing 22% for Benefield, so only a 2% difference. Jacobs in P4 on 24%. I can't see P2 and P3, unfortunately, from where I'm getting my information from. But yeah, this has been absolutely cracking stuff. A lot of pit stops still left to play out. The GT3 class as well. It just looks like it's very hard to overtake here at IMOLA. I already kind of knew that was going to be the case when we got to the race start, but definitely proving potentially a little bit more tricky here for these GT3 cars. They are quite large comparatively to the size of the circuit, but still Packham giving it his best go here to try and attack Reyes, but it's just not come to fruition just yet here in this race. But there's still 22 and a half, just under minutes to go in this race, so Packham will still be giving it out his absolute all here to get past the Chevy in the Ford Mustang. And I'll tell you what, if it was a Camaro GT3 by somehow, this would be very reminiscent to last night, Zachariah.
Yes, it would be. The Gen 3 supercars having a good crack against the Mustangs in the AK Racing League, but nonetheless, the racing is on here now, and this is where it's at. 0.4 of a second is separating these boyos at this stage in the P1 and 2 for the LMGT3 cars, and they're really, really racy. They're not letting go of each other, as I said earlier. It's fantastic to have this close of a battle going on, and I'll tell you what, behind them as well, Donnelly is not letting go of James Atkinson. He's only 0.6 away from a move here on himself as well. So P4 and 5 getting a bit hot property. You can see some hypercars coming through now, getting right out of the way. And I think that, no, that's not Hanikuri, is it Spinazzi? Yes, it is Spinazzi, who is trying to navigate his way 6th overall and 6th in the hypercar standings at this stage. So a great drive from him so far to get that on board. Poor old Brimblecombe, his quickest lap, Lindsay Muddle, you said before he had a bit of damage. He's only done a 33 dead, and everyone's doing mid to high 131. So very, very much a hurt BMW there for the hairbrush himself. But he'll be back for next round. Don't worry about that at this stage. It's still 0.3 of a second between Russell Reyes. And we go around one more time, Daft Punk style, on these two. Having a good little battle at this stage. We're still trying to wait for Benefield and De Silva to come into the pit lane to navigate their first and final pit stop of the race. And that means then it's a race on for Colombo, who still hasn't been able to get past the Brimblecombe man as well at the moment. It's 13.1 seconds away from him. And that overall, if you do off what he is, he's 64 seconds. He's a minute and a bit off the lead of Benefield. So whether that's a pit stop or not, we'll be soon to find out, because those battery levels are draining very, very quickly here. And this is a cracker of a little battle here. You can see from the swingman and exterior cams that now it is on for Packham. He is right up the clucker here of Russell Reyes. Can he get the job done down this circuit? I don't think he's going to get it here, but there's a bit of pressure point motors now for Russell, because he'll be looking backwards to see where Ricky is. And if Ricky's right there with him, that could enforce a error, and then it could be a lead change here for the LMGT3 cars. But it's the Bald Eagles out in front. 1-2 America, albeit different manufacturers, and they're driving very, very nicely. They've been like this the whole race, realistically. Haven't let go of each other, and it's cracking to see how consistent all of these gentlemen are as they drive around. It's beautiful stuff. Jeremy Talbot's had a DNF as well in the hypercar class from 6th place overall, so everyone is going to get a promotion there. For him, it's the first casualty of the hypercar class. We've had a couple in the GT3s of Glastonbury and Nick Hill DNFing this one, so they're out of that one. So we've still got 14 cars in the LMGT3 class and 9 left on the circuit here at Imola in the hypercars. So it's good to see a big, strong performance at this stage. However, Colombo still 63 seconds off the lead of Benefield versus De Silva, which means he's only about 56 seconds away from Nick De Silva in second place at this stage. You can see, I think that that would be, again, Spinazzi trying to come through on these boys at this stage. He's now in 5th place, promotion by the DNF there of Jeremy Talbot. So he'll be happy about that, a top 5 for his first outing. But nonetheless, the racing still goes on, and it's still happening between these two. They're not letting go of each other at the moment. You can see it getting a bit more aggressive here from Ricky Packham. He's just showing the nose every which way he possibly can in all 3 mirrors of that Corvette in front of him. The C8 driving the tits off this at the moment, Lindsay Muddle. Cracking to see, and these guys aren't letting go of each other. You can't be really that consistent without being bloody good, and that's what these boys are showing us.
Yeah, they're just absolutely flying along, and their lap times are so close together. They close and gain at different points. It was about this time last lap. Packham was a similar distance away to Reyes, which is where the Corvette seems to be just a little bit off the tick to the Ford Mustang, which is actually quite surprising to me, considering the Corvette's normally a bit better in the high-speed complexes. But then you see up the hill through Acca Mineral. Oh, that's a mistake from Packham. That's very deep at Variante Alta. He gets a swap of oversteer as well. And we were just speaking about how consistent they've been, and the good old commentary curse came out to mess with him, and that is a big time loss there. That's probably, if I had to guess, about a 4 or 5/10 loss. Yeah, it is. It's about a second now between the GT3 leaders, and really unfortunately for Packham, he's just got to get his head back down, and he'll continue pushing on here. There's only 17.5 minutes remaining in this race. They've got a Peugeot coming up behind him. He should get them before turn 1, though. The Peugeot just flying along. You don't see too many of those on this grid. Not a bad looking hypercar, that. And now they've got a BMW of Brimblecombe also coming up behind them as well. So a couple of hypercars coming out to come and maybe disturb the party, but I highly doubt it, as they've been actually going all right tonight in the traffic department, unlike what we saw in Interlagos, where it was just absolute contact after contact after contact. They've been a bit more sensible tonight, the boys, maybe after that Interlagos round. Good old Brocky or Sam Austin got on the hot mic and said, boys, absolutely calm it down. And that's what we're seeing right now, is that is just a clean little move there from Brimblecombe to move up past the GT3. Marcus here with 16 and a bit minutes to go. Colombo still sitting in 8th, as all the pit stops have not come to fruition here, but Benefield has 8% virtual energy remaining. I can give you that for free, as Guterro and a couple of the other drivers in P4, 5 and 6 are about 3% higher, but I don't think Benefield's too worried about that. He had a big safety net about him when he was pulling into the once Colombo pulled into the pit lane, he had about a 5 or 6 second safety net to the car behind. So I'm intrigued to see how the undercut works here. We don't really see much of the undercut here. Maybe 1 or 2 laps, not a whole, basically 15 minutes of undercut from Colombo. I'm intrigued to see how much he is able to close in. Benefield still holding about 4.5, 5 seconds to De Silva, which is about what it was when Colombo came into the pit lane about 15 minutes ago, maybe just over, in this race. So a lot of variables still to play out, but one thing's for sure, pit stops will be on the way very, very soon. In fact, for Benefield, I would imagine it's either going to be this lap or next lap.
Yeah, it will be, and I don't think it's too far away for that one. 4.6 seconds has decreased, however. It was 5.6 seconds, so he's lost a second there to De Silva right behind him. So something to think about there in the pit stops. Now Benefield's really got to think about how much virtual energy he needs to put in the tank. In fact, he's going to go around one more time. So I think the next one is it, as we see some pit ins coming there for Adam Hardy in the LMGT3 class. He has come in to take some fuel on board with him now. We've got a little bit of something going on here for Benefield, because in front of him are these GT3 cars, probably at the worst point for one to get out of the way, the McLaren. If he can get past this McLaren right in front of him now, he will be singing to the high heavens. Blue flags wave there on the grand scheme of things for the timing boards, and he's done that beautifully now. So nothing to see here, just skips onwards and says thank you, Father, for the rabbits. But it's really closed up now. He's sort of hurting at this stage. I think it's 6/10 down on De Silva versus Benefield. De Silva's coming at a rate of knots here later on in this stint, so this could be interesting also to see what these boyos do with the last lap here for sure. 100%, like he's only got 4%. That won't get him another lap around in Benefield, so he's really just been held up again. Another 4 or 5 tenths there. You can see him 5 tenths down already on his own personal best, and he was lapping very much so within the last couple of laps within his PB. So he's 1.5 seconds down or thereabouts also on this one, but the gap has not decreased under 5 seconds here, or it has actually. It's 4.5 now between De Silva and Benefield. So Benefield will be coming into the pits now, surely. If he doesn't prove me wrong, holy mackerel, that would be embarrassing. But I think this is the time now where he has to come in. He's got no choice because that is all over by the shouting. And in he comes. Thank goodness gracious me for that one. In comes Benefield. And I think now De Silva's going to... No, De Silva's going to go around one more time because he's got 7% left. So he's okay. So now we're really going to see if the undercut works because Colombo at this stage is still... Oh, geez, he's still at the back half of the circuit. And Benefield is in the pits. Where is this going to come out to fruition? He's flashing the lights, but he knows that a potential race victory is on if he can get past all the traffic at this stage. He's 4/10 down on his personal best as well at this rate of knots. Same thing with Benefield there. As he came into the pits, he was a good 1 and a bit seconds down on his own lap time navigating traffic. But Muhammad's had a really, really good lap here at the moment. He's basically at this stage, he would have clawed 1 second delta-wise over Daniel Benefield there in the grand scheme of things. So you can see what's going on. Benefield's about to come out of the pits now, and he is up to full speed. Colombo still has not rounded the final turn, and he's lost it. Oh, Colombo! He threw away every chance he possibly could have had there now. I'll tell you what, De Silva's going to probably get him too by a country mile. That is disaster there for Muhammad. Caught live there in 4K, and the poor old boy has just looped it at the point of knot and thrown away any chance of a victory, maybe even a top 3 there too. If De Silva comes out of the pits, you can see he is still circulating around at this moment. He's got this lap to come into the pits, but Muhammad Colombo, disaster for him. Drove so cleanly so far, and it just came to at the point of knot right at this stage here of the track where De Silva is going through now. Is he going to get past the LMGT3? He can, but what is he doing? Oh, geez, very, very late on the brakes into the pit entrance there was De Silva. Hopefully he did not get a speeding in the pit lane warning for him, but he's at the last point of knot. Guterro is also at his dead set last 2% of battery there for him. He's going to come in as well. I think the later pit stop there, Lindsay Muddle, was absolutely the right call because you did not have to sit into the pits as long to really fill up for that last lap dash for the virtual energy.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there might have been several factors going into that. I think maybe, obviously, having to fill up less was a big part of it, but maybe there was also a bit of extra traffic involved there for Colombo, or maybe he got caught up more. Maybe even he boxed so early because he might have picked up some damage. I'm not sure where or from what, but who knows? There's so many factors that we mightn't have seen while we were looking at the likes of Reyes and Packham, who also Packham came into the pit lane a couple of moments ago when De Silva was also pulling into the pits. Packham came out in 3rd position. So, yeah, a lot of factors going into that one, I think, as Guterro in the Alpine is trolling his way out of the pit lane. Here comes Colombo. Colombo still sitting in a comfortable 3rd position here, but quite away from De Silva and Benefield, unlike before he pulled into the pit lane. So, yeah, not an ideal strategy from Muhammad Colombo, but what can you say? He is in a Ferrari at the end of the day. Yeah. So what less could you expect?
Well, that's wise words from the Supercoach there, Lindsay Buttle. They are an absolutely fast of a racing team in Formula One, but just doing them proud was Colombo. Just had to pay tribute to him somehow in this race weekend that we've just seen. But De Silva is 3 seconds away now from Benefield, so this could be a little bit of something to look at. If the gaps keep decreasing for De Silva on Benefield, that could be race on with 10 minutes just about ready to be left in this one. And it is race on. 3.5 seconds is the gap as they navigate their way through those LMGT3 cars at this moment. De Silva versus Benefield is the one we want to look at this stage. Driving very, very nicely indeed. Russell Reyes has come into the pits now, and he's about to exit the pits. Where's Ricky Packham? Oh, gee, this could... This is interesting because at the front straightaway right now is Ricky Packham. Russell Reyes is still navigating his way through the pit exit, and I think Ricky's just going to absolutely sing past him here. Oh, maybe not. No, he's not. So it is a jump here at this stage. I reckon that this could be very, very interesting. That is a blue flagger in the way there of Lachlan Andrews, not getting out of the way there for poor old Ricky. He will be absolutely spewing about that. That was not very gentlemanly like there indeed, but it's still 0.6 of a second now between Reyes and Packham. Packham has definitely got the warmer tyres here. Russell is just there. You can see it on the screen. They're not far away. 0.5 of a second now, the gap between these boyos. This is the LMGD3 race we were hoping to see. A bit of a battle. Now, who can get the afterburners on and make a move under brakes somewhere here at Imola in the hardest place to pass a car in the land, I would say. One of, indeed. Are these boys going to get to it? But that is the final pit stops done at 1 and run. Now they're all going to do is just race to the end. Some smoke signals, some dust, whatever, on the circuit there by some cars in front. Now it's Rays versus Packham. Benefield is sailing out. He is 4.6 seconds away from any threat to Nick De Silva there as well. So something to think about in the grand scheme of things there. But I think at this moment, Benefield would be singing to the high heavens here with 8 minutes left for the hypercar win.
Yeah, he must be feeling pretty comfortable as long as he doesn't pull an Alex Kay in Sebring and absolutely throw it away. He should be home free in car number 99. He's just driven an absolutely stellar race to this point. Ricky Packham definitely must be feeling a little bit frustrated after Lachlan Andrews just got in his way. That was the one point where he really could have gone for it with the car in front of him of Reyes sitting on colder tyres, but it just didn't come to fruition for him. He still closed in again, so the cold tyres did help him close, but you can't help but think maybe he could have gotten the move done and finally gotten into the lead that he's been chasing if he wasn't held up just a little bit. But he's still got just under 8 minutes to go here to try and make a move. Oh, that's a car off. That's definitely gravel getting kicked up here. It's a smoke screen going on out on the circuit. That's an interesting rejoin from the Ford Mustang as well, so absolutely not sure what's going on at the moment. And Packham's getting held up a little bit again. He's compromised, and Lammerman going all squirrely there, absolutely all over the place, and Packham just can't seem to catch a break here, but the gap is still under 0.4 of a second here with 7.5 minutes to go. He's been hunting this for so long. He's been on Reyes' tail the entire this entire race, and it's all coming down to this circuit proving harder to overtake than Monaco, it feels like here tonight for Ricky Packham. It must be like, for him, he must be seeing walls all around the circuit. He's like, I can't go for it, but it is just the nature of the circuit. But it's so close. It's all going to come down to it here with a 7-minute dash to the end. I absolutely can't believe what we're watching at the moment. This is fantastic racing to this point, and there's hypercars now getting involved as well in this lot, so it's absolutely all coming to fruition here to end out this race. Oh,
definitely, and you can see he just got held up there, did poor old Ricky. Good 3 or 4 tenths there was lost just by that Porsche just darting underneath them and getting them his way around there as well. I think that, no, it wasn't Nick De Silva, it was someone else. I think that was no, it wasn't. I can't even tell you who it was. Who doesn't matter, because those boys in the GT3 class are racing so nicely. And yes, it is very, very hard to pass here, Lindsay, Monaco style, that is for sure. But nonetheless, 7 tenths is nothing to shy about. He can really only get within 2 or 3 tenths at this stage, it looks like, for Ricky, before a little bit of maybe dirty air just gets in the way. The hypercar coming through there. Spinazzi just trying to get his way through. He does, but that's going to hurt again for Ricky Packham. He has lost another 3 or 4 tenths. That is now 1.1 seconds between himself and Reyes. So Reyes at the moment singing to the high heavens, seeing that gap just increase behind him. So he'll be singing at the moment, but not for too long, because I think that Mustang, once it's in clean air, is a bullet in the GT3 class at this stage. But Benefield in the hypercars really, really singing away. 7 seconds now over Dick De Silva. But Colombo a distant third there, good 25 seconds away from any threat to De Silva's second place. It is absolute disaster for Colombo. He spun it. He would have lost a good 6 or 7 seconds there. Still not enough to get the job done in second place nonetheless, but still, excuse me, he'll be happy for a third place after just spinning off in his own little singing song and dance sort of, I guess it would be Gone with the Wind style, and managed to pull it back up onto the circuit. But this battle is the one we want to look out for, because all it takes is one hypercar to ruin it. We've seen it so far for Ricky. He's been on the receiving end of it being ruined. But what has Russell got in the tank? Can he get forward? Is he going to get up there? Can he keep that P1 that he's been so hardly, desperately searching for here on debut for Reyes? It would be fantastic to see this guy come through and take a chockies for his first time outing here in the Split 1 for Monday LMU Series. But we'll see what he can do. That Mustang looking a little bit closer there. 1 second is the gap. Still too far away from any threat. But, oh, geez, you'd be spewing if you were a Bricky. I'll tell you what, those hypercars right at the point of not in his way, just holding him up. But you can see that gap decreasing. it looks like advantage pace-wise is Ricky, but Russell just defensively masterclassing his way through this one and making that Corvette as wide as 2 buses in the Chevrolet style, back in the tour band style at the moment. 2 very, very good, but Shawnee Jacobs is actually climbing back on here for the hypercars over Mohamed Colombo. So Colombo struggling here at the end. Shawnee Jacobs probably got a little bit of a fresher tyre situation, I reckon. So still P3 under threat here for Mohamed. What happens if Shawnee Jacobs can get the job done? And you can see how close he is now here. This is getting very, very racy indeed between these two. This is Porsche versus Ferrari, and now Shawnee is all over the arse end, really, really pushing Mohamed through those corners. I think those tyres are a little bit hot there on Mohamed, and this could be interesting. The final podium position with 3.5 minutes left in this one is all on for the Chockies here, Lindsay Muddle. This is fantastic to see.
Yeah, and it's not just that position either. There's a big battle going on for P7. Curry and Brimblecombe nearly just had a massive come together at the Villeneuve chicane, but they have separated out a little bit nearly from that contact, but it was very, very close together a couple moments ago. But it's absolutely all kicking off here. Jacobs only 2.5 tenths behind Mohamed Colombo at the moment, and Packham is also... Oh no! Colombo's gone! He's gone spearing off into the gravel. I have absolutely no idea what happened just then. He locked up all fours and just went absolutely spearing off into the distance. The pressure was too much there in the Ferrari, and Guerrero gets him as well. Colombo having an absolute meltdown here with 3 minutes to go. And that is not how you want your race to be ending here. So that battle is all now done and dusted. And Brimblecombe as well. I know we can't see it, but I've definitely seen it. He went absolutely flying off at Ravazza. He's back on the track now, but what I'm watching is about 10 seconds off the tick. But he took a massive off at the final 2 corners as well. So hypercars all over the circuit at the moment. But the GT3 gap's 2.5 tenths, as that is Haney Curie getting involved here in the GT3 lead battle. The gap was only 2 tenths, and it's going to continue closing as the Peugeot's up the inside of Reyes on the exit of Tosa. It's so close. There's about a lap to go after this one. No, actually, this will be the penultimate lap. Next lap should be the final lap as far as I'm aware here in this race. This is going to be an absolutely cracking finish. It's anybody's call here for the race victory in the GT3 class. In the hypercar class, it's obvious, but will it be Packham or will it be Reyes? It's anybody's guess here as we head towards the final lap of this race.
Oh, this is exciting. You can see now that there's blue flags for the GT3 cars getting in the way as well for these two boyos. This is only 3 and a bit tenths of a second gap overall. So squirrely on exit there was Russell versus Ricky, straight lining, but he's got the nailed throttle job done and just sailed off into the distance, gained another tenth or 2 on exit. That's just incredible stuff. We'll have to cross back to them very, very shortly. If they manage to make their way through these 2 turns cleanly, we're going to go on board with the man in front of Daniel Benefield and see where he is on the circuit. He's going to come around. This is 100% going to be his final lap with a minute left in this one, leading it by 7 seconds. Oh, thereabouts over De Silva. This has been a masterclass for Benefield, also on debut here too. 2 debutants going to take the win here tonight if they can keep it all together. And he's racing the absolute wheels off this car, this Porsche. Very, very nicely liveried as well. Munro will be stoked about this green one. But this man here rounding the final course, procession of the course, and he will take the win in hypercars if he can keep it clean. But this is on like Donkey Kong now, Lindsay Muddle. A last lap of the race here for all of these boyos, and it's 2 tenths, not even there between these guys now. Russell versus Ricky, Reyes versus Packham, whatever you want to call it, and they're putting all things together. Full defense mode here at the moment for Russell Reyes there. He's really, really going hard here. He could just stick on the racing line and not go too defensive, because that helps him. That helps Ricky right behind him there in the pace department. You can see him half checking him up there too. Oh, this is incredible. Nose to tail sort of action. This is the closest they've been the whole race, and it's the final lap of the race too. Oh my goodness, we're going to have to cross to someone soon to see where Daniel Benefield is, because he is still racing, and he's going to come up and lap these blokes for the final one. Is it going to be the race position fought by a hypercar coming in the way? I don't think it's going to be too far away from the disaster here, because there is our leader right behind the 2 leaders of this LMGT3 class. Is he going to get past him? I think that is going to be Benefield coming past to take the win for the hypercars, but it's still just only within 2.5 tenths here for the LMGT3 guys for the final stanza here. 2 corners to go. Can Russell hold on here and raise in the front? Ricky Packham has got the job done for second place. Russell's going to hold on here for the P1 in the LMGT3 cars, but this man is your winner overall for the hypercars. A good 6.8 seconds, crosses the line, takes the win. Russell Rays is going to cross the line in P1 for the LMGT3s as well and take the chockies, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most better finishes I think I've seen here. That was heart-stopping stuff there for everyone in sundry. The checkered flag is waved there. Benefield is your winner overall for the whole race. Dominated that one to silver in second in the hypercars, and Shawnee Jacobs still circulating. He'll come around in third place. He's on the final 2 corners. Now he's in the final corner of the race to take P3 for his hypercar class. That is beautiful stuff from Shawnee Jacobs. He'll be stoked about that one. But however, Russell's put it in the pits already. Ricky's had enough too. That is P1 and 2 done. And Leo Dreyer in the pits for P3 overall in the LMGT3 class. That was some good racing.
Yeah, and a Porsche 123 in the hypercar class and a McLaren 345 in the GT3 class. But that's 2 nights in a row here on Sensational TV where we've had photo finishes on the last lap of a race. So that's exactly what you're strapped in for when you stop into one of our broadcasts. But yeah, what a race that was. 31.134, the fast lap of the race from our race winner, Daniel Benefield, and the debutant absolutely dominating, winning by 6.980 seconds over Nick De Silva and Shawnee Jacobs. Gutierrez gets P4. Spinazzi picks up a P5 as well. So Colombo must have had an absolute meltdown to lose another place on that as well. He gets P6. Haney Curry gets P7. Brimblecombe gets P8. And Medici gets P number 9. Russell Rays just about holds on to the race victory in the GT3 class. Packham gave it his best go. He chased tail every single lap of the race, and he just could not get it done, but it was so close on the final lap. But congratulations to Russell Race for holding on to that one. Leo Dreyer rounds out your podium in the McLaren. Another McLaren in P4, another McLaren again in P5. Then Liam Brooks gets P6. Johnston in the Aston Martin gets P7. James Atkinson gets P8. Jake Baldwin gets P9. Phil Rando gets P10. Lammerman gets P11. Lachlan Andrews, after a little bit of a scary moment with the GT3 leaders, gets P number 12. Benny Collins, after losing a rear wing on his Aston Martin, gets P13. Adam Hardy gets P14. Talbot, Glastonbury, and Hill DNF. But what a night of racing that was, Zach O'Reilly.
Boy, that was beautiful stuff there, Lindsay Muddle, and that was a very good night of racing indeed. There was battles all up and down the field. There really was a lull in proceedings that carried on for too long there at Imola. So it did produce some good racing, and the best one was obviously between the GT3 guys, Russell Rays and Ricky Packham. Take your hats off and take a bow for that one. That was heart-stopping and throbbing at the same time. So maybe some muscle relaxers after that one they're going to need to take, because that was fought by absolutely nothing in it. And you can see that Ricky Packham got the best lap of the race for the LMGT3s by just under 2 tenths overall. So he had the pace in clean air, but just could not get past that Corvette of Russell Rays in the end. But that is beautiful racing. That is sensational stuff, as we always like to say. And that is round 1 done and dusted for the LMGT3s and the hypercar class here for Monday night LMU sprint racing. Doesn't disappoint. And I'll tell you what, the next week that we are back is going to be a fantastic one, Lindsay Muddle. It's going to be a good racing event. And I'll tell you what, when I get excited about a lot of things in life, I generally get excited about this track coming our way. And I'll tell you what, with Monza, the Festival of Speed coming our way, it is going to be suck battles everywhere for round 2 next Monday night at this series. So get your hats on, get yourself settled in, and book yourselves out for that Monday night. It's going to be sensational here for LMU. But that is all over, done for us tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you all. Apologies about LMU absolutely shies and housing the bed there at some stage. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Jamie, Ron, and Braden Moore for tuning in as well. And Munro is also there early on in the piece for the first one. That is LMU racing done. Sensational TV is also done, but we're not done for this week. I'll tell you what, we're back on Wednesday for the Wednesday Cup, Lindsay Muddle, and that is going to be something to behold here as well. So that is at AK Racing in the Judd V8 BMW E28 M5s. That's never fails to disappoint there. Also,
I could race those.
Yes,
they're
same.
Spectacular cars, but I'm always working on a Wednesday, so it just doesn't work. They are absolutely incredible cars, though.
Well, no rest for the wicked, as they say there in the working department there for Lindsay Muddle. But it's been cracking to have you with me tonight, mate. Thank you very much for being involved. I'm going to look forward to next one as well, next week with you. Also live from Monza, the Festival of Speed. But for us here at Sensational TV, thank you very much, everyone. It's goodbye and good night from us here. Lindsay Muddle puts the M in Marvellous himself, and MasterCard also his major partner sponsor there as well. And I'm Zach O'Reilly, and guess what? You're not. But as always here at Sensational TV, it's bye for now. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, until the next time, keep it flat out.